no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's going to stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away. And I know, 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 I know. Hey, you ought to leave young things alone. Well, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away, yeah. know, I 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 know. Hey, you ought to leave your thing alone. Ain't no sunshine when Robbie's gone. Sorry to talk about myself in the third person, but welcome everybody to my live stream. So good to have you here. All right, friends, hello. Thanks for having me back. I took a 5-6 day break, and it was amazing to get away to the Tucson, Arizona sun. And then I guess it was amazing to wake up this morning to snow here in Central Oregon. But yes, I'm so happy to be with you. I've got my new funky patchwork pants that I bought from a vendor at the Gem Show in Tucson. They're ridiculous. I am such a suburban hippie. I definitely look like a wannabe hippie right now, but that's okay. We'll go with it. Glad to have you here. Okay, let me say hi to everybody. Hi, Eric. And Dawn's here, and Manuka's here, and LT Truckin' is here, and Tenpin is here. Nice to have you, Tenpin. And I think I see everybody that's here. I have a weird feeling that I'm probably live streaming while another big time looper on YouTube is live streaming right now, but that's okay. It's great to be back. jellyfish in the ocean of my head. 'Cause I drank too much tequila and I woke up seeing red. Now all I really want from life is to crawl back into bed, on account that my brain is just a jellyfish in the ocean of my head. Well, I woke up this morning, the phone was ringing, my boss was talking, just kept on squawking like a vacuum cleaner, like a barking dog, like a headache screaming through my mental fog. So I pulled up my pants and headed towards the door, but the room began to spin and I fell to the floor. Almost made it to work, but stopped along the way. Two girls said, hey, wanna come with us to Santa Fe? Said, I love it till you see I gotta get to my job. That's when they knocked me out and threw me in the back of their Saab. Somewhere around the coast of Spain was looking at me, looking at it and singing things. We arrived at the house, a big adobe palace. Gave a lecherous look at the girl named Alice. Alice, right away they both were willing, but the next thing that happened wasn't quite so thrilling. They said, first gotta come up and meet Mary's mom. But it wasn't a mom, more like an atom bomb hitting. This came out from where the earth was split, rolling pin in hand, Gestapo patch on arm. She was mean and she was bound to do me some harm. So I run down the steps to the front of the house, back to the highway. I scurried like a mouse, take off my backpack, pull out some rum, take a big long swig and stick out my thumb.
My brain is just a jellyfish, and they
Brain is just a jellyfish. Brain is just a jellyfish. Brain is just a jellyfish. I didn't expect anybody to know that song. Yes, 10-pin, nose cheese, amazing. You're gonna love this channel, I promise. All right. Sorry, I'm getting my live streaming back on. When you've been away from it for a little bit, you gotta get back into the mode. So that's what I'm trying to do here. We'll get it flowing here in just a second. not affect the cause. It's quite a bit like trying to heal a gunshot wound with gauze. If you instead attempt to wrest the pistol from the pen, then I would not be able to equate my life with sand. Hourglass and pushing through the funnel. Joe once more while racing all your siblings for the tunnel. Let it slide and let the silicone embrace you as you fall. The bounce and land and let your brothers crush you to the wall. Religion or worship my own spirit, but if he ever subscribed to me, I wouldn't want to hear it. I drive him a forgotten God, languishing in shame. And then if I his soul he sees, I'd have myself to blame. symptoms. Can't hear the symptoms. Why, hello, neighbors. All right. Hi, friends.
Man, good to see some familiar faces. Good to see some people I haven't seen in a while. Hi, Dozer. I'm so sorry what you're going through. And yeah, I hope this music can give you a bit of a distraction or just uplifting a little bit. Hi, Taz. I know who Tree is. Tree is one of my very, very good buddies. And Tree's kid is here as well. Hello. All right. Did I say hi? I think I said hi to Aaron. I think I saw Aaron on here a little earlier. Hi, Aaron. Great to see you, man. All right. All right. We've been doing a lot of jammy type of things. Baby tree. I love that. I have no idea what this song is about, but if it's about hurt, I send this out to any of you that are feeling hurt right now. Oh, and I think I saw Pasquina on here a little earlier. Hi, Pasquina, the queen. It was a long flight. I just jumped out. I was in the exit row, so I jumped out of that plane to get back here tonight to do some live streaming. That's how much I care. Yes, these are the pilot's pants. Scar tissue that I wish you saw. Sarcastic Mr. Know-It-All. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you, 'cause with the birds I share, with the birds I share this lonely view. With the birds I share this lonely view. Push me up against the wall, young Kentucky girl in a push-up bra, falling all over myself to lick your heart and taste your health. 'Cause with the birds I share this lonely view. 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 bathroom stall. Saw the girl with the scarlet draw. Wave goodbye to Ma and Pa, 'cause with the birds I'll share. With the birds I'll share this lonely view. With the birds I'll share this lonely view, yeah. With the birds I'll share this lonely view. With the birds I'll share this lonely with a broken jaw. Step outside but not to brawl. Autumn sweet, we call it fall. I'll make it to the moon if I have to crawl. Well, with the birds I'll share this lonely view. With the birds I'll share this lonely view, yeah. With the birds I'll share this lonely view. With the birds I'll share this lonely view. Scar tissue that I wish you saw. Sarcastic know-it-all. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you, 'cause with the birds I'll share. share this lonely view, yeah. With the birds I'll share this lonely view, yeah. I share this lonely view. With the birds I share this lonely view. Oh, Nullabye is here. Yes! Nullabye is a phenomenal music. I have a lot of phenomenal musicians here. Nullabye's here. Never Not Whammy's here. Dozer. I think you're a phenomenal musician. Aaron, Layman Loops. Oh my gosh, this is great. Probably even more of you. I have a feeling Tenpin is a good guitarist. Good to have you all here. Hi, Eva. If I've missed saying hi to anybody, please let me know. By the way, if you're confused by this PRS, it is indeed a Paul Reed Smith. It is a mid-90s, I believe, or mid to late 90s PRS. I don't know if I heard a story about Paul Reed Smith, which is, and I'm sure there's other instrument makers out there who do this, but at least this was the case in the 90s, is that if you had a PRS and it got shipped to you and it even had the smallest nick in it, like even on the back where nobody would see it, they would ask you to send it back and then they would totally chop up the guitar. They didn't want any blemished PRSs out there in the world. I just heard this story the other day. So, it wasn't like they would, sell it, like it's a refurbished instrument or something like that. They'd literally take a saw to it and chop it up, and probably remove the electronics, and then chop it up. And I just think, yeah, that probably says a lot about who Paul Reed Smith is. Both a master guitar maker and a guy who probably wasted a lot of material in life. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to switch over to the trusty old acoustic. Well, it's good to be back, friends. I felt like I interacted with some of you while I was away on my vacation to Tucson, Arizona, which was wonderful. Bookend by coming back to Central Oregon to snow today. Not great, but it was an amazing trip. But while I was on the trip, at least one of you, and I don't think Wolf is here, live streamed, and I went on that live streaming, and both Wolf and I discovered that there are two different Robs. There is a viewer Rob and a live streaming Rob, and if you ever see me as a viewer Rob on somebody else's live stream, it'll probably make more sense. But it was great to interact with many of you while I was gone, because y'all are my dear friends. I also left my guitars out while I was gone, so they definitely went a little detuned. Oh my gosh, Nullabye, yes, you get it. I totally, before I ever got, it's funny, so just to read Nullabye's comment, live gig Rob is closer to viewer Rob, easier with someone to talk back, right? Totally. It's so funny you say that, because when I started to live stream back in the pandemic days, and it was on Reddit, I felt so weird live streaming to a screen with nobody in the room. Like, I'm just used to playing for people in a room, together. And I remember I was watching this one guy he was a DJ actually, and out of England, and he made a YouTube video or something like that about how to live stream, because it was like fairly new for a lot of people at that point. And he said what he does is he literally, while he's live streaming, he just pictures an imaginary person in the back of the room that he's live streaming for, and he just and I guess usually the camera is like center of view, so it's like the camera, but the idea is to think of it as a person there. And I never do that. Now I just know that I'm playing for people on the internet, and I'm just not imaginative enough to think of going as far as having imaginary friends. Although I was deeply into religion for the first 30 years of my life, so I guess I know what imaginary friends are like, but you know what I mean. Don't wanna be an actor pretending on the stage. Don't wanna be a writer with my thoughts out on the page. Don't wanna be a painter, 'cause everyone comes to look. Don't wanna be anything where my life's an open book. A dream, it's true, but I'd see it through if I could be wasting my time with you. Don't wanna be a farmer working in the sun. Don't wanna be an outlaw, always on the run. Don't wanna be a YouTuber reaching for the top. Don't wanna be anything where I don't know when to stop. A dream, it's true, but I'd see it through I could be wasting my time with you. So if I'm inside your head, don't believe what you might have read. You'll see what I might have said to hear it. Come waste your time with me. Thanks. Come waste your time with me. Come waste your time with me. Come waste your time with me. So if I'm inside your head, don't believe what you might have read. You'll see what I might have said to hear it. Come waste your time with me. 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 Hello, Geezer Champion. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being so positive. I appreciate it. I Love My Dog by Cat Stevens. I don't know. I've probably heard the song because I think I've heard every Cat Stevens record. Let me give it a listen. down that dusty trail from Cathedral Butte, walking towards the canyon floor, playing Nonsense's flute. Eagles flying overhead beneath the desert sky makes me think of how they lived many years gone by. Wander here from time to time to give my head some space. Leave the noise and confusion, vanish without a trace. Salt Creek runs through the grass as you hum that Kenya tune. Brush against the desert sage, just like some sweet perfume. 800 years ago, this canyon was their home. 800 years ago, they walked through the sand. 800 years ago, and paid these little hands. Yes, this is the timeless place. Seen them come and go. Packed it up way back when, drifted on down the road. The earth, the sun, the moon, the stars meant so much back then. Years go by, and though you may try to bring them back again, ago, 800 years ago, paid these little hands.
Thanks, everybody. You know, I don't have locks for my strap. In fact, this guitar has
a chip up here on the headstock, the end of the headstock, because I was playing a gig back in 2008 with this guitar. I had just gotten it. And, looping standing up is new for me again, but it's actually old for me because this is how I used to loop way back in the day, back in the 2000s. And I had a very similar setup to this. I think I even had a bass on a stand. I don't think I had the keyboard set up, but I definitely had a bass on a stand. And I would do that thing where I'd swing my guitar behind me, which, by the way, to let you know where some of this comes from, I learned it totally from Keller Williams. And I was not aware of the surroundings at this gig, and there was a stone fireplace behind me, and I wasn't far enough away from the fireplace. I backed up, and I swung the guitar, and the end chipped on the stone of the fireplace. So yeah, I should have learned, but it's very soft carpet. I know a guy who's a really good repair guy in town if something happened, but I'm pretty sure it's fine. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for looking out for my guitar. Hi, Taz. Oh, Taz is amazing. Taz, you're just an incredible moderator, man. I watch you on other people's lives as well, and you take the job very, very detail-oriented. And so, thanks for everything you do, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, adds character, exactly. Well, I know Dawn really loves this song, and I don't think Dawn is here anymore. Oh, hi, Mitchell. Hey, what's happening, man? Good to see you, dude. Great. But I'm gonna play it anyway. Oh man, that is one bad timed loop. All right, let's try it again. Stop it, bass. There we go. All I know is something like a bird within her sing. All I know, she sang a little while and then flew by. Tell me all that you know, I'll show you snow and rain. The same sweet song again, will you know why? Anyone who sings a tune so sweet is passing by. Laugh in the sunshine, sing, cry in the dark, fly through the night. Don't cry now. Don't you cry. Don't you cry anymore. La 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 la. Sleep in the stars. Don't you cry. Dry your eyes on the wind. La 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 la. Tell me all that you know, I'll show you snow and rain. Don't cry now. Don't you cry. Don't you cry anymore. La 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 la. Sleep in the stars. la, la, la.
Thanks so much. All right, friends. How are we doing time-wise? I used to be in a bluegrass band back in my Seattle days. I lived in Seattle for nearly 20 years. It wasn't the city I was born in, but it was the city that I basically became an adult in and lived most of my adult life until I moved here to Central Oregon 5 years ago. And so Seattle has really felt like my home. And if you've come to my live stream, I've talked about Seattle before and the power of Seattle to me. But I had the opportunity to do quite a few music projects while I was in Seattle. And when I say projects, I mostly mean bands. And I had a bluegrass band called Bet Gone Wrong in the mid-2010s. And it was so much fun. It was a bunch of my friends and my dad, and we would just primarily just play bluegrass versions of like songs that most people knew. And but of course we play like some bluegrass standards as well, and then play some songs by bluegrass musicians. And one of the most amazing bluegrass musicians, if you've never gotten into bluegrass, this would be a good place to start if you wanted to. A good artist to look up his catalog is Sam Bush, who is often called the Godfather of Telluride, because I think he was one of the first at Telluride, if not the first at Telluride Bluegrass Festival, and really just one of the pioneers of the mandolin. And anyway, so he when he kind of helped bring in a era of bluegrass called newgrass. And if you've ever heard the name Bela Fleck, I play a Bela Fleck song on here occasionally. Bela Fleck and Jerry Douglas and Mark O'Connor and Edgar Meyer and all these guys formed a band called the Newgrass Revival. And a lot of these like big time, bluegrass jam bands-ish, I guess, in some ways. Bands like Billy Strings, Yonder Mountain String Band, Green Sky Bluegrass, so many over the years, new bands like the Mountain Grass Unit and Magoo and all of these guys. Truly, Newgrass Revival set the way for them, because they were kind of the first ones to take bluegrass and say, hey, let's get out of simple bluegrass chord progressions and let's see what we can do with like our jazz influences and all that and jam a little and all that. So anyway, there's this band Newgrass Revival led by Sam Bush, who did a lot of the lead singing for that band, but he has a lot of solo albums as well. And one of his most famous songs in the Sam Bush world is this next song that I used to play with my bluegrass band in Seattle called Bet Gone Wrong. So we used to do this song all the time, and it's pretty simple chords, but the song's called Same Old River, and it goes like this. Hi Joseph, welcome.
that I could be an Indian on a painted pony so fast no one could ever catch me. I'd get caught up in my past. I'd ride across many rivers, too many moons to tell the time, and I tell all the young warriors, many moons ago this world's mine, oh mine. Same old river, same old sea, same old waters rushing over me. Same old moon, same old sun, same old race that we've always run. Same old race that we've always run. Wish that I could be a pirate, I'd sail the ocean blue way before the big liners started sailing them too. I buried most of my treasures so I would leave a big hole, and the only real sense of pleasure that I'd get is to sail free of my soul. Same old river, same old sea, same old waters rushing over me. Same old moon, same old sun, same old race that we've always run. Same old race that we've always run. I wish that I could be a slave. It doesn't matter what kind. I'd sing a song for fallen angels and try and be free in my mind. Then when no one was looking, I'd drive my heartless plow. I'd find my own contemporaries. I'd wipe the shame from their brow. Same old river, same old sea, same old waters rushing over me. Same old moon, same old sun, same old race that we've always run. Same old race that we've always run.
Thanks for letting me play that for you, friends. I know it's a tiny bit out of the regular Gregerson catalog, but thanks for and if that did anything, if that turns you on to Sam Bush, then job well done, because Sam Bush is amazing. If you guys, if anybody likes to listen to live shows, like recordings of live shows, there is this kind of infamous, famous live recording that's floating out there on the internet. You can still find it. You might be able to find it at on the Re-Listen app, is that what it's called? Or archive.org. I don't know if that still exists. But there's this show in 99, Bela Fleck, who's like the world's greatest banjo player, who has what I think is the world's greatest band, Bela Fleck and the Flecktones. He did this side project with some of those Newgrass Revival guys I was talking about earlier. And he released this album, I think it was in '99, called The Bluegrass Sessions. It's on Spotify, you can find it. It's a fantastic album, but they did a tour, and they had, well, he's now a very well-known bluegrass guitar player, Brian Sutton, but he was kind of unknown at that time. So Brian Sutton is their guitar player in this concert. And Gabe Witcher, who was the longtime violin or fiddle player for Punch Brothers, and kind of before he was known as well. They did this festival called the Strawberry Music Festival, which still happens in California. And there is a soundboard recording out there of Bela Fleck's Bluegrass Sessions in 1999 at the Strawberry Music Festival. If you can find it and download it, it's one of the greatest concerts I've ever heard. If you love improvised music, if you love just like players who just like rip, and if you love like fun storytelling because they're hilarious, look up, try to find the soundboard recording for Strawberry Music Festival, Bela Fleck's Bluegrass Sessions. Sam Bush, whose song I just played, is on there, and he's the mandolin player in that band, and he is super funny. He kind of MCs the show while they go along, and he's really, really funny. So check that out if you love live music, and if you've never gotten into bluegrass, it's a great first listen for bluegrass.
If you ever feel lonesome and you're down in San Antonio,
I love Midnight Moonlight. I never play it on here either. We'll play it at some point. Come back and remind me. We'll play a song. I feel like I probably played enough bluegrass-ish tonight. Does anybody know how long I've been playing for? I'm using a different platform tonight that doesn't show me the time that I've been playing. So we'll all right, 10 pin. You've stuck around, man. I'll go for it. It doesn't take much to twist my arm to play a song. I'm here for the people. Oh, did they? Oh, that is right. Okay, so I forgot about that. That it's on YouTube. The video is. It's really bad video. It's home video from 1999, as you can imagine what that video quality looks like. It's blurry. If you can find the recording, I think they used the soundboard recording on those videos. I would highly recommend just listening to the video or just listening to the audio because the video is so bad. I mean, they're probably somebody's like using a camcorder mostly on their shoulder, but all right. Joseph, I don't know Ira Lovin Brothers songs. I've never heard of that. Okay, here we go. I used to play this song with my band, Beg on Wrong, too. Let me tell one more quick story. Also, I have to sneeze. Sorry. By the way, friends, this is too much information for you. The floodgates of unediting myself is completely open. I'm getting a colonoscopy next week because I'm at that age where I have to get a colonoscopy, and I have to stop taking some of my multivitamins, and also I take a Zyrtec every day. So like my allergies are now like coming alive. So I might be sneezing during some of these live streams. But because Tenpin's on here, and I know Tenpin knows String Cheese Incident because I've played a couple String Cheese songs, and Tenpin has called out, at least in the first song, Jellyfish, that song, that was cheese. You know, I've always said probably the most influential band at this point in my life has been String Cheese Incident. I've seen them countless times. In fact, I just bought tickets for 2 shows in Oregon last week that are coming up in the summer. So it's going to be awesome. I've seen those guys like many times. I love String Cheese Incident. String Cheese Incident is actually what got me into bluegrass. Because I grew up on country music, but like old country music. Because my grandfather was in country bands when I was younger, and my dad played like country music. But I never really listened to bluegrass, even though I was like deeply listening to a lot of like country music. You know, country is kind of adjacent to bluegrass music. Anyway, when I got into the jam band world, which really launched because I was super into Dave Matthews Band, especially in the 90s. And I know they're not jam band for jam band fanatics, but they used to improvise a lot more back in the day. And that kind of set me off on finding out about Phish and Widespread Panic and Grateful Dead, and then String Cheese came into my life. And I got really obsessed with String Cheese in like the late 90s and 2000s. And they cover a range of styles. The String Cheese Incident does. It's one of my reasons I love them. And they're really good at like pretty much every style that they do. But they introduced me to like calypso music that I had never really heard of, and like some Latin stuff. I kind of only knew Latin stuff from my like brief jazz studies in college. And but they're big bluegrass guys. Bill Nershi, he was one of the guys who's the heads of that band. He's a huge bluegrass guy. And Midnight Moonlight that I'm about to play, the first time I ever heard it was not Olden in the Way, who wrote the song, Jerry Garcia, Olden in the Way. I thought it was a String Cheese Incident song for so long, because the first time I saw them in Philadelphia, they played that song, and I was like, dude, and they wrote this song, Midnight Moonlight, and it was like an amazing jam. So anyway, that's my intro. Sorry, I'm talking way too much. I'll play.
If you ever feel lonesome and you're down in San Antonio, beg, steal, or borrow 2 nickels or a dime, call me on the phone. I'll meet you at Alamo Mission, where we could say our prayers. The Holy Ghost and the Virgin Mother will heal us as we kneel there. In the moonlight, in the midnight, in the moonlight, midnight moonlight. In the moonlight, in the midnight, in the moonlight, midnight moonlight. If you ever feel sorrow for the love that you have wronged, with no hope for tomorrow, in the setting of the sun, and the ocean is howling with dreams that might have been. Last good morning sunrise will be the brightest you've ever seen. In the moonlight, in the midnight, moonlight, midnight moonlight, in the moonlight, in the midnight, in the moonlight, midnight moonlight. Kind of never looped this song before. If you ever feel lonesome and you're down in San Antonio, beg, steal, or borrow 2 nickels or a dime, call me on the phone. I'll meet you at Alamo Mission, where we can say our prayers. The Holy Ghost and the Virgin Mother will heal us as we kneel there. In the moonlight, in the midnight, in the moonlight, midnight moonlight, in the moonlight, in the midnight, in the moonlight, midnight moonlight. Oh, it's a great song. By the way, that song was written by another amazing bluegrass songwriter, Peter Rowan. Yeah, Peter Rowan's amazing. All right. Friends, I think I'm going to play one more song. I'm still dealing with a little bit of jet lag. You know, because I flew around for 4 days straight. I appreciate everybody being here. I hope you return.
there anything anybody wants to hear for the last song? I'll fake it like I'm going through my song list to delay until I get a response. Hi, Brendan. So Brendan, funny thing, you might not know this. It's actually a no-no to cover any Eagles songs, specifically Don Henley songs, because he's got his lawyers out looking for people who are covering his music online, and will get YouTube to give you a flag. I love Eagles music. I haven't loved learning that about Don Henley, but yeah, so if you ever see me play a gig out live, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen because I think you're in Ireland, I will play an Eagles song if I'm not live streaming the gig. So that's kind of when I do all that. Oh, Prince Caspian. Coco's not here, right? I think I'll hold off on doing Prince Caspian. We right before I left, I think I did it like 3 nights in a row as an ending song. Oh, Free Fallin'. Okay, and a little chill. Did I ever tell you guys my Free Fallin' story? It's not much of a story, so don't get your hopes up. I was living in Colorado briefly about 10 years ago, and I was just playing gigs out at restaurants. That's what I was doing for a living while my wife had a serious job. And I was really at that point trying to add a lot to my catalog because I was playing basically a restaurant every day, and I wanted same restaurant every day, and I wanted to get new music, change up music. So I was constantly learning cover songs. And I, at that time, started getting really intentional about trying to make a cover song my own and like doing my own arrangement. If you don't know about me, I love arranging. In fact, D.W. Stockwell on here, Dave, who comes on every so often, he's one of my longtime listeners, he calls me the arranger, because I love taking music and kind of putting my own twist on it. It's like one of my favorite things to do. And I was playing out at, are you all familiar with Potbelly sandwich shops? If you live in Chicago, you know about Potbelly sandwich shops because that's what it's out of, and then it franchised, I think, all around the world. But they used to have live music for lunches during their lunchtime, and they'd have musicians come in and they'd pay you not that much, but they'd pay you to come and play, and it was a job that I could have every day. So I was doing these Potbelly gigs, and so anyway, I was taking cover songs, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna just like, put all these like my own spin onto these songs, and Free Fallin' was one of those songs that I never wanted. I didn't want to play it because it's so overplayed. It's like playing Brown Eyed Girl or like American Pie back in the day. Like you just don't want to play the songs that everybody's playing. So I was like, well, I'm gonna put my own twist on this song, on Free Fallin', this like popular song. So I was like playing around with it, and I was just like trying to figure out all these, because usually it's like, that's the main lick or something like that. And I was like, man, what else could we do? And I was thinking, it starts on D, and I'm also I'm a music theory nerd, so I studied music in college, so I have like all that music theory in the back of my head. So I know with a D, its third note that can also be in a bass is this F sharp. So you can play a D like this, or you can add this F sharp on top. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's like a really pretty chord. And I was like, what was it doing the song? In the actual lick, it goes D, G. So I was like, so that kind of came out of it. And I was like, oh my God, I've unlocked this new version of Free Fallin'. And like still sing it the same. And I will play it in just a second, but you know, she's a good girl, loves her mama. So I was like, oh, it's perfect. It like changes it up, doesn't sound. And then sure enough, you might know where I'm going with this if you know the famous cover version of that song, which is John Mayer's version. He did a live version of that, and it probably has like 1 billion downloads or views or whatever on Spotify. And it's that version. And I was like, I looked it up because it was like a year later. I've been playing that version for that long. And I don't listen to John Mayer. At least at that time, I didn't listen to John Mayer. In fact, John Mayer was like my least favorite musician. I seriously couldn't stand him. So I probably hadn't heard him do his version of Free Fallin' because anytime John Mayer came on the radio, I would like switch it to something else. That's how much I did not like John Mayer at that time. And so I'm like, there's no way I could have gotten Free Fallin' from John Mayer. But you know, then like John Mayer did it. So, and he like has this version. And then I found out like, yeah, he had created that version like years before I ever came up with that in 2015. So maybe somewhere along the line it hit me, or John Mayer and I just arranged music very similarly, but that's what happened. So but I still kind of play it, and he sings it very differently. He does the, I'm not free, you know, he does the John Mayer thing. By the way, side note, I love John Mayer now. When he first came out with his blues album, and he got away from the pop stuff, Your Body is a Wonderland stuff, and he started doing the blues album, and then, of course, he joined Dead & Company. And then I started listening to him, like, in interviews, and then he had his own podcast, but he'd, like, be on podcasts, and I was like, this is, like, a brilliant human being. Like, this guy is, like, brilliant. You know, he went to Berklee College of Music, which is a prestigious music school here, and he knows the psychology behind music and like the blocks, and he's really transparent about his like own struggles. So now I'm a huge John Mayer fan. I still don't like his pop stuff, but like John Mayer, the musician and the arranger, amazing, love it. Anyway, that's my John Mayer story. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus and America too. She's a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses and her boyfriend too. Shout out John Major. Well, it's a long day living in Reseda. There's a freeway running through the yard, and I'm a bad boy, 'cause I don't even miss her. And I'm a bad boy, breaking her heart.
and I'm free, free falling. Yeah, I'm free, free falling, falling. All the vampires walking through the valley move west down Ventura Boulevard, and all the bad boys are standing in the shadows, and the good girls are home with broken hearts, and I'm free, free falling, falling. Yes, I'm free, free falling, falling. Wanna glide down over Mulholland, I wanna ride her name in the sky. I'm gonna free fall out into nothing, gonna leave this world for a while, and I'm free, free falling, falling, 'cause I'm free, free falling, falling.
Yeah, one other thing, random thought that came to me with John Mayer, because like I said, I'm super into him now, I was listening to a recent interview. Do y'all know who Cory Wong is? Cory Wong is part of Wolfpack, the ridiculously amazing funk band Wolfpack. And he's the guitar player, and then he has his own solo career now, and he basically travels with like a big band behind him. He's amazing. I'm pretty sure he is on Ritalin, is my guess, because that guy has more energy than anybody I've ever seen in my life. But he has a really cool podcast called Wong Notes, and he had Trey Anastasio on there from Fish, the guitar player for Fish. And Trey was talking about his kind of recent love of Dumble amps. Now, you got to remember, especially if you're new to my channel, I would always identify as an acoustic player before I would ever identify as an electric player. And playing electric is new for me, actually. So I don't know a lot about amps. I don't know a lot about pickups or like anything electric guitar wise. I know I like playing electric guitar. But, you know, there's these coveted Dumble amps. I don't know a ton about them. I bet you like Nolabai or Eric or some of you guitar heads out here, maybe Tenpin, some other people could tell you more about Dumble amps. What I know about them, what I learned about them is that they're coveted. They're like the Stradivarius for guitar amps. And Trey was talking about how he would love to have one. By the way, Dumble amps I don't think are built anymore. They only built a limited amount of them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I remember he said. So you can hardly find them. And he goes, the reason you can't find them is because basically when John Mayer got rich, he bought all of them. He went around the world and bought all of the Dumble amps. So somewhere in some warehouse or probably his 13 mansions around the world, he has Dumble amps. And Trey said that the first time he met John was at one of the last Dead and Company shows that was played. And John, I guess, lent him one. And he's used it, I think, on the Trey Anastasio band tours. And but I just thought it was so funny that like he made there's only 300 made. Okay, right. I knew you would know way more about this than I would. But like I think it's so funny that like he just like knew to take like his millions and millions of dollars, because they're like crazy expensive. Like to actually find one and buy one. Do you know Nullabye? What that is? It's pretty great Dumble emulators though. Yeah, aren't they? They're like in the $100,000s of dollars range, right? A Dumble, like an actual original Dumble amp. Yeah. Luckily, as Nullabye just told us, now there's so many like emulators out there, and guitar players or musicians, listen to that interview with Trey on Wong Notes if you haven't heard it, because he actually talks about amp emulation and pedal effect emulation these days, and he has a really interesting take on it, on like that technology, the emulation of pedals and amps. It's really interesting. If you're not going to listen to it, the only thing I'll tell you is that he swears that with today's technology, you would not be able to tell the difference between an actual original like amp like a Dumble and a Dumble emulator. That's how good technology has gotten. So anyway, okay. Yes, I've heard of Strange Folk. In fact, did I see Strange Folk? I may have seen Strange Folk back in the 90s. I saw so many shows back in the days. I'd go to festivals and stuff. I probably did. I do know Strange Folk. They're amazing. Really, really incredible. Very along the lines of String Cheese Incident. But anyway, thanks friends for hanging with me. Thanks for welcoming me back. I'm around all weekend, so we'll do more live streams this weekend. And come back. I changed my songs. If you haven't seen me before, I changed the crazy background too, so there'll be a different visual in the background. And I just appreciate everybody. Hey, where's that interview at? Oh, Pasquina. It's on. You can find it on Spotify. It's called Wong Notes. Is the podcast? It's Corey Wong's podcast, Wong Notes, with Trey Anastasio. It was like in the last couple months that he posted it, and in fact I think it was a 2-part interview. Well worth listening to. Trey's a really thoughtful dude, and also side note, if you have any interest in like addiction and recovery, Trey has this open story about him getting arrested back in 2004 and becoming sober, and then he started a foundation called Divided Sky, named after one of Fish's songs. That's a recovery center. And he actually, I guess Trey just did like a lot of podcasts at this point, but he did a podcast, and I can't remember the name of it. Hold on, do I have my phone on me? Because this is a really interesting Trey interview if you're interested in listening to more of Trey. Here, I'll tell you guys what it is, because it just came up on, let's see, The Wind Blows High. The Wind Blows High. It's the Small Bow podcast, Small Bow, B-O-W podcast with Trey Anastasio. He actually tells this entire story of recovery, and it's really inspiring. And that was just on my mind because I heard it today. It was great. So friends, I'll try to come back definitely tomorrow. I've got a pretty free day tomorrow, so we'll try to do some multiple live streams. Maybe I'll do a low-key acoustic one in the morning or something like that. But I appreciate you all being here. Thanks so much, mods. Thanks for holding it down. And yeah, let's get back together tomorrow. Thanks, friends.